Hey everybody, happy Friday. We made it. Okay, Love After Lockup, Season Red, Season 5, Episode 7. I just want to once again thank everybody who has subscribed to the channel, who supports the videos, who likes the videos. Thank you so much. And those of you who want to, please click the subscribe button and like the video. Okay, so we gonna start off with Mikey and Chelsea. Chelsea got an attitude, y'all. Chelsea showed her ass this episode. I ain't gonna lie. Okay. And Mikey, Mikey kept it cute. But Chelsea was being mean to Mike, but it came out of nowhere for me. So she said she feels like shit and she misses her kids. And I was like, well, maybe you should go home, Chelsea. I know you want to meet Mikey, but like, your kids still need you. All right. So Mikey's talking. He's like, we didn't have sex last night, and he needs to go to an attorney this morning. So he tried to wake her up. He wasn't rude about it. He wasn't abrupt. He wasn't doing the most. But meanwhile, he can't drive or anything. So her friend Gio calls, and he was like, all your kids are sick. And she said he's been like her friend since middle school, and that's nice. And he watches her kids sometimes when she, has to go and do other things. And he was like, I gave them some medicine, but they're all sick right now. They have headaches, so on and so forth, which sounds a lot like what she has, like headaches and fevers. And she's stressed out because she's too far away from her kids to be able to do anything. But Gio was like a good friend. He went to the mailbox, he got her mail or whatever, opened up her stuff, and he's showing her. So apparently her benefits got cut off, as a person with a disability. She's hearing impaired and can't speak. We know she works at the hotel, but I mean, like, people still have to, like, make a living. All right. So she's frustrated and upset, which I can understand. Okay. But she took it out on Mikey and not the government. Let me tell you something. I want to hear about people getting their SSI check, especially people with disabilities, because all the fucking money we pay into the pot in New York, which is about 30 to 50 billion more than places like fucking Kentucky and shit and Florida, where they go around Washington with their hand out and then talk about people who need government assistance, don't work, and are lazy and all this other shit. And New York's been paying into the pot more than all these motherfuckers. You goddamn right I want somebody to get their SSI check. I need to know where the fuck my money going, Joe Biden. Any damn way. All right. So, she's frustrated and upset, which I can understand, but you taking out on Mikey and that ain't right. And, she was talking to Gio on the phone, but she has to do sign language because she's hearing impaired and she is mute by and large. And she was like, look, I can't talk to Gio and interpret for you. Get out. She kicked him out. She was rude with it. So her finances have her stressed out. And I get it. We all know, I hope, well, I don't wish it on nobody, but I think anybody who's ever worked a job knows what it means to be stressed out. Otherwise, I just cannot identify with you over finances. So, but then she started talking about how she has to pay for Mikey's hotel, his cell phone, and her bills, his bills, and it's all hitting her at once. And I was like, I understand Chelsea, okay, has a disability, but the government snatches these benefits from a lot of people, black people with no warning, reason, or anything else, and many people cannot do without it. And this might be one of those times where Chelsea really wants to use her whiteness. Okay, because there are people struggling with multiple kids, so on and so forth. And while that father may be involved, we all know men get off with the bare minimum when it comes to child support. And so the reason why I bring that up, somebody's probably like, well, what does race have to do with it? It has plenty to do with it, because white people can get food stamps and disability benefits without the stigma and the shame that comes with black people who need it as well. Latino Americans can get that without the stigma that African Americans get as well. That's why I'm bringing it up. And because I live in New York and we pay $30 to $50 billion more into the public pot that other people get, okay? I want to know. Anyway, so Chelsea got an attitude, y'all. So Mikey had a stroke in prison, and so they go to the attorney's office to really talk about, what happened, talk to the lawyer about how his rights were not supported. Certainly his health rights, his ability to be able to be taken care of, even though he was in prison. And he wanted Chelsea to come in, and she was like, there's no interpreter. I don't want to have to go through that. Just go in and tell me when you come out. All I can think is, damn, all that extra money for a lawyer, even for a consultation. Then they want you on retainer, $5,000. I was like, damn, y'all got it like that. But then again, maybe that's why Chelsea's stressed out, because she put this money up. And the lawyer was just like, you need to have a doctor review this, so we can then figure out how much outside of the law they were. And Mikey tells him that, look, I have financial issues. And the man says he took his last case with a contingency fee, which basically means he doesn't charge you until, like, the case is, cracked and it's over or whatever. And then he gets that fee. And then he's like, but if you start making money, I want it. And that's how lawyers are. That's how lawyers are. And he was like, it could be 6 to 8 months before we even, get a response out of the lawyer. And Mikey was like, I wasn't expecting that. I thought maybe like a month. And I was like, Mikey, why? You've been in jail. You know how long lawyers can take? And the fact that you're going to have to get a doctor to look this over. And let's be real. People in the 1%, many of whom are doctors, most of whom are Wall Street fat cats. But nevertheless, they're all in it together, boo-boo. They are. They don't work to help people. So, I was thinking to myself, does Chelsea have COVID? Because her and her kids seem to all be sick the same way with those same exact symptoms. But anyway, Mikey is trying to be patient and Chelsea is frustrated. And so is Mikey. And then he says, look, I've never seen Chelsea like this over Messenger. I was like, no shit. It's Messenger. Anyway, he gets out the car and he's like, look, I'm not going to talk to you while you're like this. And Chelsea leaves his ass on the side of the road, drives off. I said, damn. He was like, well, let me tell you something. If she doesn't come back, I'm ending this right now because I don't want to be with somebody that leaves me on the side of the road. I was like, okay, Mikey. But your options are few. And maybe you should just stay with your sisters for a while you get on your feet. And y'all just do a long distance thing. Because, y'all not having sex or nothing. So, okay. Anyway, so Andy and Brittany. I'm going to tell y'all, I'm going to keep it real. Next week, if they on the episode, I'm not going to even bring them up. I'm not, because this is wasting my fucking time. These motherfuckers move from front porch steps to the kitchen. And that was all. And it was just a bunch of bullshit on both sides. So Andy says that their prison relationship honestly was more stable than it is now. Duh. Now she done see what you look like. Now move on. Okay, so Brittany is like, fine. I'll go to the woods. Okay, because he was like, well, maybe you need to get out and go fishing or whatever. And he was like, okay, I'll cook breakfast. And she was like, good, fine. And she's coming in the house stomping and shit. So she doesn't like him. And honestly, this shit is hard to watch because it's cringy as fuck. Was it me or when she came back from the porch steps into the house to get ready to go out with him? And talk about how she wanted to cry. She didn't want to be there. When she walked into the kitchen, she looked worse than she did when she was outside in that Nashville shirt. She looked worse. Even though she was in there putting on makeup, and that bitch looked worse. Anyway, so he made her pancakes and was like, she was like, I thought you didn't like pancakes. He said, I don't. I don't like fishing either, but I'm just trying to be accommodating. And honestly, when you like somebody, you will do stuff you don't normally do. You will go out on dates, even though that might be something that person enjoys. It may not be fun for you, but because you like that person, you'll do it. And to me, that's not a big deal. That doesn't mean somebody's being fake. I don't want nobody that's not willing to, like, go watch a nerdy sci-fi movie with me, even if, like, that's not his thing on a regular basis. Like, or not at all. Like, just, I need you to support me in this. So, that's not weird to me. However, she doesn't like you, so that's why it's not cute. So anyway, so then she asked him about $1,200. She said, you gave me $500, and I had to give that to my kids because they needed it. Pause. Okay? Don't act like you give a fuck about your kids needing shit now. Don't pull it, Brittany. Don't fucking pull it. And no, I don't believe you did that shit. You too fucking selfish any goddamn way. So anyway, she was like, so where's the rest of the money? And he was like, well, I have to go to the bank and get it on Monday. Then she said, why Monday? Why can't you get it now? With the bitch face on. That's the shit that pisses me off. That's why I don't like her anyway. I don't. And I'm not even here for defending Andy per se. But that's not the point. The point is she's a bitch. And she's a narcissist fucking bitch. Let me be clear. I don't like either one of them. Okay? But I do dislike one more than the other. And I dislike Brittany more than I dislike Andy. How about that? Okay, then she asked about his car. And then she asked about his title. And she was like, are you broke? I said, damn, bitch, you just got out of prison. We awfully picky. She was like, how are you going to give me a car if you don't have the title? And he was like, easy. I pay for it and you drive it. And you just drop me off at work until you find something. First of all, can we address the fact, does this bitch have a license? She can't have one. She just got out of prison. You revoke all those privileges. They don't automatically get restored because you walked out of prison. Get the fuck out of here. All right, so, for somebody who ain't got shit, Brittany, you awfully picky, but that's usually how it is. It's that ghetto trashy mentality, okay? I deserve this, I deserve that, even though you living in squalor. Bitch, don't play with me, all right? And for somebody who ain't got shit, you know an awful lot about finance. Maybe you should get your own life in fucking order before you ask Angie to help you. And are you trying to tell me that, like, if a parent buys their kid a car in college or in high school and they make payments on that car every month, that they didn't give their kids a car? Like, stop. Stop playing with me. Stop playing with me. So she was like, well, that's control. Yeah, it can be, Brittany. But, bitch, what you want is narcissistic control. You want that for yourself. It's not because you're against it. Okay? So what you should have been doing was trying to take some classes while you were in jail to better your life once you got out. And you could go look up on Indeed or Idealist or wherever the fuck you can find a job and get your shit together. Okay? So cut it out. So my thing, and no, like I said, I don't believe she gave that money to her kids. I believe whoever's been taking care of them is still financially responsible for them because she is not doing shit. All right. So anyway, my thing with Brittany is that we saw her treat her daughter Gracie like a bitch off the street. Why are you following me? What are you doing? This, that, and the other. So I'm not checking for her bullshit. Does she even have a fucking license? Like, must I keep asking this question? Girl, go find you a man that has some money. Oops, you can't. Because if you could, you would. And I know Andy wasn't the only man you were talking to, but he was the only man who saw it for you once you got out. Bitch, get the fuck out of here. So, you the one up here begging. You up here talking about this $1,200 and that was supposed to be there for you. Okay, whatever, fine. And then she was like, well, how are you? She's looking at his bank account and he was like, you want me to show you your own bank? And she was like, yeah. So he had like $100 near like $3,000, roughly, whatever. And she was like, that's all you have? And you owe me $1,200? No, bitch, he owes you $700 because he gave you $500. Number two, bitch, that's how regular people's fucking bank account will look after you pay your bills. He was cooking, so he obviously paid his electric and his gas. Don't play with me, Brittany. Don't. Because if you had better options, you would have taken them. That's what makes me think you and Gracie got into it and she put your ass out of her car. Anyway, so then he gets mad. He gets mad. And honestly, he should have been mad. And takes his mic off. And that's when Brittany's marshmallow Ghostbusters looking ass. I don't know what that thing looks like. That Ghostbusters marshmallow that blows up, when they, are like, Ghostbusters. Anyway, that's what she looks like. She's up there sitting there eating his biscuits after he walk out mad and smiles now that he's pissed. Which is how narcissists react when they make you angry. And they do that to get a reaction out of you. He was like, well, I'm starting to feel like this is just a money grab. I said, duh. Damn. But, some people, they got to learn the hard way. All right. So, Melissa and Louie. Snooze fast. All right. So, Louie had to Uber back to the hotel. And he better than me. He brought her a pizza in from the wooden stove that he made at his homeboy's, space. He takes the pizza all around the hotel because when he got to the room, she wasn't there. And he sees her purse and her keys or whatever. So, he finds her in the exercise room. He made a pizza in a heart shape for an apology. And I thought that was nice. And she was like, is this your apology? He was like, if you wanted to be. First of all, he wasn't even flirting with that girl. Let it go. That girl was doing her job. Melissa, you're insecure. It doesn't matter who would have been there. If he would have been dancing with his mother, you would have been jealous. Donna in her yellow and red house dress, you would have still been jealous. Something wrong with you. So Melissa is one of those emotionally immature people. One of the most emotionally immature people I've seen in a minute. Okay? So she's still stuck in high school. She's tripping over the instructor that wasn't checking for him. Bitch, move on. We're tired. Okay? He was happy and he was talking about how excited he was just to be back in the pizza kitchen. And to me, he just seemed like a normal guy that will probably get his job back. He has a skill. He makes pizzas. He's Italian. And to me, that I don't care where you start. I'm somebody that believes in seeing people get better. And the fact that he's even willing to do that, to me, it's not like you have a lot of options coming out of prison. People judge you. I know it sucks. And I think Louis a nice guy. But Melissa, you on that fuck shit. You got to cut it out. All right. So she said she's willing to forget about this. Even though she went to the dancing class. Is it just me, or is every bitch on this episode just extremely delusional? Like more than usual on this particular episode. Okay? So Melissa's driving herself where I thought was to the airport, but because he's talking about leaving, but apparently she was going to the dentist that says dentist. Anyway, I don't know why that made me laugh. Anyway, so was it me, or when they were talking on the way to the dentist, did y'all think Donna was gonna pop up out that backseat? For some reason, I just saw her popping out the backseat to be like, okay, I'll cut that shit out. Anyway. So she says she's going to help Louis fix his teeth so he can be confident and going on job interviews and stuff. And she was like, but do I want him to be confident? She was like, oh yeah. I was like, girl, you had a plan. I ain't here for it. So she takes him to the dentist. The secretary says, look, it's going to be $150 out of pocket. And she looks at him and says, well, I guess I'll pay because I made the appointment. Well, bitch, you know he ain't got no job. Child. It's late. Okay. And it's been a long week. All right. So the secretary said it's going to be $150. And yeah, it is. And quite frankly, dental insurance is rough. It's rough. Okay. But anyway, so he tells the dentist his life story and about drugs in prison. So I felt bad that Louis feels embarrassed about his teeth. For some reason that struck me, and I'm going to tell you why. Because honestly, growing up, especially after losing my teeth as a kid, I had so many overbites. I had underbites. I had extra teeth. I mean, really extra teeth. And it's just hereditary. It just runs on my father's side. And my parents couldn't afford braces for a long time. I didn't get them until I was like 17. And I'm grateful to God that I was still able to get them. But I hated to smile because kids tease me, boys tease me. And I just felt like I was ugly. And that, you know, I was really, it was hard for me. And so when he said that, I never was able to really articulate that out loud. Because I was just so ashamed and embarrassed. But anyway, I felt that for some reason. And I was just like, yeah, people should have the right to do that. And Melissa starts talking about, well, because someone was like, yeah, you know, everybody loves a nice smile. Is very attractive. And she was like, well, I don't want him to be that attractive. So they started talking about dentures. And he was like, well, that's the most affordable one. Now, shout out to Louis for not feeling so comfortable with Melissa's money that he wanted to spend a whole lot of it. Brittany, take note. Okay? It costs about $5,000 for the dentures. And honestly, teeth are expensive. And dental insurance isn't that great. I don't care how much you pay for it. And it fucking sucks. Dental insurance from the gate really does suck. Okay, and I'm telling you this as a regular working class person in this country. I mean, it can be decent if you have an emergency. Just the fact that you have insurance, that you can guarantee the dentist will be covered to some degree. But like otherwise, sometimes your options, I know mine, if you don't like pay like whatever it is, $50, whatever, and you try to just go for like a basic option every 2-week period, like a $10, you pay $2,000 out for a copay. Now that's not realistic for nobody. Except in Brittany's fucking mind, even though we know she ain't got no resume worth a damn. Anyway, and it just makes me angry because a lot of health issues begin with the teeth. And the U.S. government know everything else from a fucking Chinese spy balloon to what's going on in Israel to what's going on in Ukraine. But y'all can't fucking give y'all's own people health insurance to make sure they don't die? The fuck out of here. All right. Now, moving on. Sheree and Anthony. I just just wish they would give us something or not. They've been talking about this party since Love During Lockup, and it's just not giving. It's not giving. It's not giving, and I don't get it. I don't get why they're on here. So the PO said, basically called Anthony on the phone that Sheree paid for to tell him that yes, you can go to your party, but you have to be back in by 1 a.m. Okay, that's decent. In your 30s, that is definitely decent, especially considering you just got out of jail 2 days ago. Barely. So, Love After Lockup, Mama D is talking shit on the couch. All right, he asked about her son, Richie, and she was like, well, he's, excited to meet you, whatever, which is good. Nevertheless, Debo, her twin brother, which I didn't know she had, that's his nickname, Debo, and his father are going to look out for him. Like, the bottom line is Anthony's been in jail. Anthony's not that boy's father. And you need to be careful, Sheree. All right? So, Debo's her twin brother. He's supposed to have her back. Okay? So, if he gets a little rah-rah with Anthony, so fucking what? The Joker done been in jail. Okay? The brother was mad because he was like, well, you should have asked for my blessing. My blessing does mean something. And it should. A brother should look out for his sister. There's too many weak, whack people in the world. Okay? There are. And the bottom line is a man should protect a woman, brother, sister. That's the way it should be. Her brother brought up the fact that they're married, and he was like, how did this happen? I don't like the way you move. Now, my thing is, the brother, while I understand why he's mad, I just want to go, Debo, there's still time for a blessing because your sister ain't married. She is keeping this lie going. That shit is embarrassing. It's embarrassing that it's going to play out on TV and that WeTV is going to own this content forever, Sheree, and you will not. And the fact that you are somebody's HR head or representative is laughable. You on here with shorts up your ass. I can't even respect you. Them big ass, fake ass hoop earrings that are gaudy and fake as fuck. And it's not because I don't like fashion jewelry. I ain't sitting up here acting like I got no diamonds. Like, blinging all through my earrings or whatever, but I just think the fact that it's so gaudy and the fact that she was wearing paper shoes to get him out of prison is just, it's all the things. It's all the things. And I would have never gotten on this fucking show looking so stupid. All right. So Debo, you can still bless the marriage that ain't happening. So the brother was like, do you see her attitude? Do you see her attitude? Can you deal with that? So I don't think Sheree's attitude is bad. I actually don't. I don't know what they're talking about. You may not like her, but I really don't. I think she can actually handle herself better than I thought. So, but my problem is that Anthony is on TV talking shit about Richard. And I'm just going to call Richard for now because he's the father of the son. And he did this in front of Lil Richie, his namesake. What the fuck? How are y'all talking about this boy's father in front of him and how he needs to take more time with him? In front of this little boy. Why are y'all talking about grown people's business in front of this little boy? Anthony, you are not his fucking father. And Debo, Sheree, you should have been the first one to say, look, it stops here. This man is not your husband, whether he was or not. He's still not that little boy's father. And he knows enough about his father, whatever the case is, okay, to know that man is not his father and Richard is. Sheree, you should have told that ninja to... First of all, you've already, I can tell, told him too much about your baby daddy. Who you're claiming isn't doing enough, but you feel comfortable enough to invite your baby father to your man's get out party. Okay? So if I was Richard, I would fuck somebody up for talking to me about how to raise my fucking son and you've been in prison. Catch. All right. So she still want that man, but trying to make him jealous with a jail word, baby girl, that's some bullshit. So Debo and his wife come over and get ready to go to their welcome home party for Anthony. All right. So she paid for this stupid party. And Sheree and her brother are arguing about him being a hater. She was like, I don't even know why your name is Debo now. You a family man. Like, why are you trying to be tough? And the sister is basically like, well, shit. Anthony got to get it the way I get it. All the questions and hell I caught. And I was thinking to myself, Debo, you know, he cute or whatever. But I don't think I would have gone through that hell for a joker named Debo. But that's just me. Anyway, so why are these chicks trying to impress somebody so hard? Joy Nomi, Chelsea taking on all that extra financial pressure for men who just got out of prison. Meanwhile, Ant and his mother go looking for engagement rings. All right. So he said she got rid of the ring because he was still married when he gave it to her. And the brother is mad about them getting married and not asking him. And I'm like, the gag is you tripping. Because she's lying about the marriage. And we know on TV, as you play out looking stupid and dumb, what has really happened. So the mom told Ant that the ring was small. And Ant apparently still has drug money or pre-convicted money to pay for it. I said, okay. Anyway, so let's get to... All right, let's get to Joy Nomi and Red, okay? Because this is where a lot of bullshit takes place, and I blame Red's mama. All right, so the family's waiting for Red to come out of jail. He comes out, everybody's celebrating and happy. He's hugging his family, and people are crying. Him and Joy Nomi kissed for a minute. It kind of was turning my stomach, but whatever. But he just got out of jail. He honestly looks a whole lot younger than 30. He looked like he stopped aging when he went in around 20. He looks about 19, to be honest. So he's talking about how Joy Nomi's always been by his side. She didn't leave him in jail and forget about him. I mean, but she did have a whole child. And not because I see that as cheating, but because Joy Nomi brings it up as cheating. That's kind of why I'm bringing it up, okay? So anyway. But she held it down. Okay, girl. So Red is the only person I've seen that makes sense when he gets out of fucking prison. When I tell you he was running down them fucking steps, he didn't even know what car he was going to, but he knew he was getting the fuck out of there before them guards changed their mind. I said, go off, Red, go off. Okay? So I think he'll be okay. He seems to have a good and supportive family, and I think that's key to reintegrating into society, if you will. But even if he's in good hands, he has to experience life without a committed relationship. And that's really just what I'm saying. He's too young. He's still young at 30. Yes, he's still young. So Joy is like, she knows about the female sending him money, but she doesn't think this is the time to bring it up. Good call, girl. Good call, especially since you have a whole child. And he took money from other chicks. So to me, I'm like, well, it's 6-1, really. I don't really think him taking money from other chicks and then sending it to you is the same as you having a child with him. I'm just saying. So they go out for fish and seafood. Why was WeTV playing that Baptist church music in the background? I was offended. I didn't like that. They were not going into the church house. Don't play with black culture like that. So anyway, his mother asked him how was he feeling. And he said, I feel like, honestly, I disappointed you all. And his cousin was crying at the table about the stuff he missed. He understood and he apologized. And I think that's all you can really ask for somebody. Getting caught up in stuff like that so young and getting that long sentence. I think it's a good sign that he's willing to acknowledge it. I don't think he should have to pay for it for the rest of his life with his family either. I just don't. But I do know that prison can really break up a family. I know. Okay? So I don't want to give too many opinions on that. So, the food looked good as fuck. I ain't gonna lie. So then at the table, the mom said that they were mad at Joy about the pregnancy. She brings that up again while they eating. And we saw that food. That food was nice and fried. I was like, where's the hot sauce? Can y'all just eat and enjoy? And he said, well, I was mad at first, but he was like, I love her and I know we can move past it. Fine. Didn't you already say that was none of y'all's business? Then the mom asked him why he hadn't told Joy about the women he had sending her money to send Joy. And he said, well, I was mad about Joy cheating. I mean, he was saying that right there in front of her. And the mother keeps stirring the pot, okay? And Joy was over it, and the mom was being an asshole. She was. And I tried to give her a chance at first when she hugged Joy. And I'm sure she knew about most of this shit, even though she claimed she didn't. But any black woman still wearing green-colored contacts in the year 2023 is not to be trusted, okay? Sorry, miss me with the self-hate. Okay, so he's calling his extra side chicks outside the fish house. You would think somebody who was at a prison And I'm wondering about the editing. Did he get time to really digest that fried fish so he could have the energy to talk to somebody else? And his cousin gives him the phone. And when the mama brought up them other girls, why did them two light-skinned cousins? And I told him light-skinned because I don't know what their names are. Anyway, so he's calling his extra side chicks outside the restaurant. And he was like, I just love attention. I've been in prison with men. And I love joy, but I like attention from women. And I was like, duh. First of all, you can have men 60 who ain't never been in prison still acting like that. And it's a shame. And men are socialized to believe that shit's okay. Nevertheless, he's 30, he looks 19, and he's been in prison for most of his young adult life. Okay? She's looking for a husband and a father replacement in a man that is not prepared to be that. Period. Hard stop. Okay. Last but not least. So finally, and this must be the last episode for Renika and Asante. Please tell me it is because there ain't shit else to discuss. So this bitch knocks on the door and don't even bother to cover up the peephole. Okay? So that's how I knew they was on some fuck shit. So she walks into a hotel room with a Wendy's bag on the bed. Talk about it's ratchet in here. I was like, yes it is. And Asante, I wouldn't want no man that eats fast food. First of all, on a hotel bed, his real bed, or anywhere else. Cut it. Okay? Cut it. So he was like, what's up? Like, he ain't know her. Like, she coming in there to clean the room. The fuck? So she was like, I just wanted to let you know I'm moving on. And I was like, bitch, you could have moved on without a PI and without placing your kids in Atlanta public schools. And you not even from Atlanta. How you gonna move on? She said, you let me on. And he was like, how? I said, Ninja, you let her on. Get the fuck out of here. Cut it out. Okay, when she came and waited for you outside that jail to take you because your other girlfriend went put in it. That's why. So she started crying and said she, used to love him and now she hates him. And I honestly expected this shit to get a whole lot more violent, but it didn't. It didn't. Renika, I do think you dodged one of those guiltless punk motherfucker sociopaths, and because he wasn't sorry about anything. And he felt very comfortable gaslighting you. The production crew asked where he went 5 a.m. after he slept with Renika. And he was like, I went to my auntie's house to, get the phone that she bought me, whatever. He said, I had this female buy me a phone. She was a close friend from my childhood. And they were like, seriously, just give us the real. Okay? Because this is clearly going to be his last scene. All right. So they were like, look, did you have sex with her? He was like, yeah. With that dumb smirk trash ninjas do. So he was like, it's tempting. And then he goes to that same bullshit people do all the time. My daddy talks to multiple women, so that's all I know. Did your daddy go to jail? Is that all you know? Don't act like that's all you know. You knew what you were doing was wrong enough for you to lie to her. I can't stand when people pull that shit. And especially men. Because women can literally be abandoned by their mothers, by their fathers, and still manage to come out of that and be good mothers to their children. Because they immediately try to be what nobody was for them. And I don't see men putting that kind of energy nor effort. And that's why I'm not here for this shit. Okay? So miss me with the bullshit. So Renika yelling in the hotel hallway about how he'll never find a chick like me, this, that, and the other. Maybe not. But bitch, go get your kids. Because I'm just sorry that this shit is playing out on TV months later. And you haven't even seen your kids in person to ask how their first day of school went. Because you chasing this sorry motherfucker who ain't got no money and who's living off you and multiple women. To see what he doing. Girl, bye. So if I was sleeping in that hotel, I'd be mad as fuck. That a camera crew and all that hollering is going down the hallway. And I ain't saying I wouldn't have taken a peek out. But I am saying I would have been mad. And mad at that guy at the hotel. And he got fired. He had to get fired. Unless they paid him a good sum to pay his rent for at least 2 months so he can look for another job. Anyway, so that's all I got to say. I will see y'all soon. Talk to you later. Have a good night. Enjoy your weekend. Bye.